I've looked around once again on the internet to try and find answers to a certain question, and I found some statements of the mystery, but not many answers on other general searches in Google, and virtually nothing on YouTube. So I thought I'd try to shed a little bit of light on the great art-inspiring mystery of where abandoned shoes come from. In Calgary, I was reminded of this recently because it's in stampede time, and I found a pair of cowboy boots thrown away in a garbage can, and they seem to be still quite wearable. So I wondered how in the world they might have gotten there. I wondered if it was part of the slogan, the most fun you can have with your boots on. Maybe somebody wanted to take it to the next level. But there I still don't know. I've had one case in my life where I did know what happened. I was doing a sort of interpretive dance routine, educational interpretive dance routine. I had to wear this loose-fitting bodysuit, and because of the costume, it wouldn't have made sense that I was wearing shoes, so I'd taken off my shoes and put them to the side. And at the end of the dance routine, I turned my back to the audience to finish it off with my partner, and somebody whistled. And then there was some giggling, and I discovered my shoes had been taken. I turned to my partner and said, you know, that amounts to a marriage proposal in some parts of the world. So in that case, it was a sign, I guess, that the performance had been positively received, at least, and I did manage to eventually find the shoes. In most stories that I've heard of people losing their shoes, though, there's usually unconsciousness involved. So the person who loses the shoes doesn't know quite what happened to them afterwards, and the people who abandon the shoes, I presume, do so because at some point they're stolen, and maybe the thrill of stealing them is worn off, or they find out they can't wear them after all, or can't sell them, and so they're thrown away. That would be my best hypothesis of how some of these shoes get to be found where they are. Because stories I've heard, one was a mugging, and the guy was beaten unconscious. When he woke up, he didn't have any shoes. Shoes are just valuable enough to be one of the items on somebody that people might think are worth stealing because they're a little more expensive than other items of clothing usually. But then later, maybe somebody found, nope, they weren't good after all, threw them out. The second story I've heard from someone that I met in a park was, I brought up this question, why are shoes always lying around? And he said, well, I was drinking with some friends one night, and they said, how about we put this pill in your drink? And sure. He woke up a few hours later in the hospital. Presumably the people he was with didn't want to quite admit to what was going on, and they didn't want to be around when the hospital or the EMS people arrived. So they made a call and went off and left him. And I presume, like in a robbery, it might also be advantageous to the thieves or people in suspicious circumstances to not leave any means of being chased after, because they don't want the person involved finding them. So one way to do that might be to take the guy's shoes. So in this case, the guy woke up in hospital, and he eventually got better and was treated for and he said, well, you know, I have to walk out of here now. Well, where are my shoes? They said, well, you didn't have any when you came in. I said, well, what am I going to do? I've got no shoes to get out of here with. And they said, oh, don't worry, we'll get you some shoes. So they came back a little while later, and he gave him these shoes, and he was very thankful. He's putting them on, getting them in place. And he said, by the way, where did you get these from? And they said, well, it's a hospital. Sometimes people come in, and they don't make it, so they leave their shoes. Get these things off of me! I don't even wear these 10-man shoes. They're going to take me places where I don't want to go, make me walk where I don't want to be. And so he threw off the shoes. So that was the explanation for one set of abandoned shoes, but of course it still doesn't solve the mystery of how he got another pair of shoes to get out of the hospital, because he never told me that.